Hi, this is a flow chart for factoring polynomials. In a previous lesson, we discussed how to get the greatest common factor or the common monomial factor. So we'll just cover that here in brief, but we'll continue with the flow chart. It's important to remember the first step, which is factoring out the GCF or the common monomial factor. If you miss on that, then it is possible that the polynomial will not be factored completely. It may be factored partly but not completely. So it is important to factor out first the GCF. All right, so this is the start of the factoring process. First, you'll have to ask, is there a GCF or a CMF? Well, just to recall, GCF refers to greatest common factor and CMF refers to common monomial factor. They mean the same thing, all right? This refers to the common factors, both numerical and literal, which are common to the terms of the polynomial. So if there is a GCF, if there is a GCF or a CMF, then it's important to factor it out. So this is the first step. You ask if there is a GCF. If there is, then you have to factor it out. And then after factoring it out, then that's when you go to the next step. You ask how many terms are there. Now, if there's no GCF or CMF, then you go straight to this question. How many terms are there in the polynomial? All right, let's move up so we can see the next step. All right, so you're now asking yourself, how many terms are there in the polynomial? So we're going to cover just 2 terms, 3 terms, and 4 terms. Although that there can be more. You can have more terms than just 4. But these are the common ones, and so this is what we're going to cover. So first, let's focus on 2 terms. So if there are 2 terms, there are only 3 types of special factors. 3 types of special factors. These are the difference of 2 squares, which looks like this, x squared minus y squared, where both terms are perfect squares, including numbers if there are, and they're connected by a minus sign. And then the second is the difference of 2 cubes. It's also a binomial. By the way, all of these are binomials because there are only 2 terms. So a difference of 2 cubes will have this form, x cubed minus y cubed, where both terms are perfect cubes. And if there are numerical coefficients, they should also be perfect. And then the third special factorization is sum of 2 cubes, where the 2 terms are cubes, but they are now connected by a plus sign instead of a minus sign. Now, all other cases of binomials, all other cases, including a sum of 2 squares, they are considered prime. All right, prime means you cannot factor them. All right, so only these 3 are factorable. Only these 3 are factorable, meaning after taking out the common monomial factor, then these are the only special factorizations that can be done. Nothing else. All right, how do we factor a difference of 2 squares? All right, let's see, a difference of 2 squares. So this is how it looks, right? Let's see. All right, so those are the factors of a difference of 2 squares. Let me show the steps. There. So you have 2 squares connected by a minus sign, and the 2 factors are, the terms are exactly alike, except that the signs are opposite, 1 plus and 1 minus. All right, So that is a difference of two squares. Now let's see how a difference of two cubes would factor out. All right, so this is how it looks. Let's look at the original. All right, that's the original, x cubed minus y cubed. And the factors are one binomial and one trinomial. The sign of the binomial follows the sign of the original problem. If this is minus, then this must be minus, as you'll see later when we do the sum of two cubes. And then the trinomial is derived this way. You square the first term of the binomial, and then you reverse the sign. So if it's minus here, you put a plus sign here. If it's plus here, you put a minus sign here. And then just multiply the term, these two terms. So there you have it, xy. And then the last term of the trinomial is the square of the second term of the binomial. Now we can, you can see how the difference of two cubes and the sum of two cubes, how they are alike and how they differ. Let's do the factorization of sum of two cubes. All right, this is how the sum of two cubes would go. So let's look at the original for the sum of two cubes. There, so that we can compare the two. How are they alike and how are they different? Now, in both cases, both factorizations consist of a binomial and a trinomial. So for the sum, you also have a binomial and a trinomial. All right, as I said earlier, well, to get the terms of the binomial, you get the cube root of the first term, you copy the sign, and you get the cube root of the last term. So that's how you get the terms of the binomial. Same with the sum. You get the cube root of the first term, you copy the sign, and that get the cube root of the last term. Now, after you've gotten the binomial, you can forget about the original problem. The trinomial will come from the binomial. So how do you do that? You square the first term, so x becomes x squared. And then as I mentioned earlier in the difference, you just reverse the sign. So the middle terms are, have opposite signs in the case of the difference and sum. Because they're opposite the sign of the binomial. So here you have minus and you have plus in the middle term here. Here you have plus and the middle term here is minus. But otherwise, the terms are the same. This is xy, that's xy. This is also xy. And then the last term is always positive, regardless of whether it's a difference or a sum. The last term will always be positive. And you derive it by squaring the second term of the binomial. All right, so those are the special factorizations when you have two terms. Now, for the other two, 3 terms and 4 terms, I'm not going to discuss it here. Let me just point out what special factorizations can be done for 3 terms. So we have a perfect square trinomial. All right, for 3 terms, we can have a perfect square trinomial, which will look like this. Let me just get this out of the way. This and this are perfect square trinomials. All right, perfect square trinomials look this way. Well, first of all, it's a trinomial. The first term and the third term are both perfect squares. If there are numbers there, they should also be perfect squares. All right, the middle term, as you can see from these two examples, they only differ in the sign, but otherwise they look alike. All right, a perfect square trinomial must be tested. You must test to find out if it is a perfect square trinomial, because if it's not, you cannot factor it as a perfect square trinomial. So how does the test go? Let me show it for just one of them. So this is how you test the perfect square trinomial. You get the square root of the first term, all right? You get the square root of the last term, so that's y. Multiply them together, so you get xy, and then double the product, all right? So multiply all this together, so that's 2xy. If it matches the middle term of your problem, then you have a perfect square trinomial, and you can factor it as a perfect square trinomial. Now we'll discuss trinomials in another video. For now, I'm just introducing special factorization for trinomials. Now the other type is simply general trinomial, right? You don't have to this one is what's usually done by trial and error, but we need not do much trial and error. So when you have a general trinomial, the problem would look like this: ax squared plus bx plus c. So you have a squared term, and then you have x and then a constant. Now here, when factoring a general trinomial, you'll have to consider whether a is 1, meaning the coefficient of the first term is 1, or it's not 1. So there are special techniques for factoring this if a is equal to 1 and if a is not equal to 1. We'll discuss that in a future video. Now the last case that we'll consider here is 4 terms. If you have 4 terms in the polynomial, then it's done by grouping. So we factor by grouping. Again, this will be discussed in a future video. So that's it for now. I'm going to come up with another video for binomials. All right, there will be another lesson for that. So this is just an overview of the factoring process. All right. Okay, so that's the end of it.